Welcome to the Elements of Spirit readings for the week of July 31st, 2017. This is the reading for the element of air, which includes the sun sign of Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Excuse me. These are readings through the elements. If you haven't listened to the ether reading, go back and check that one out now. The ether reading combined with this air reading will give you your elements of spirit for the week. Along with the affirmations that you can use to work with those elements, call them up in your life, dispel elements that are undesirable. That process is called purification. I like this, I don't like that. I choose this, I remove all that. Anytime you use one of these affirmations, you're sort of affirming your primary element. So let's see what the element of air has to spill for us today. The ether affirmation was, wherever I am on my path, I pause to observe where I came from. I appreciate my journey. I appreciate where I am. Just getting the sense that we may be tired and you may be beating up on yourself or feeling like you're not far away enough from the central material which defines you. This affirmation will give you an opportunity to appreciate that material, appreciate the journey, and appreciate where you're at. Let's see what the air sign elements have to say about this. Thank you. Bye. Well, be so gentle with yourself. I mean, I got this image of child, like tiny baby inner child probably, and be as gentle as blowing an eyelash out of the eye. It's funny because this is the way my guides work. I get that beautiful little message and they're like in Boomerang, when Eddie Murphy blows the eye, or when what's her name, is it Leela Rashan? I hope it's Leela Rashan. Oh fuck, I can't remember who it is now. Anyway, she goes, no, it's not. Oh, it's the lead. She's great. It's a great moment. And he's like, I have something in my eye, and she's like, and he's like, you're flirting with me. Like, you don't, like, you blow out of an eye like that. But no, this is saying be gentle. Thank you, Boomerang. Thank you, guys. Thank you, air element. Be gentle. Be gentle. Be so gentle with yourself. They showed this baby, inner child, who wants to be washed, cleaned, but instead of bathing and scrubbing and soaping, that's earth element, bathing, water, hot water, fire, this is a bath of the breath. Blowing, so gentle, brushing with a feather, like an archaeologist. I feel like that was in another reading too, but like with a feather, clearing your inner child. Okay. Okay, this is a love bomb. It's great. This is like an actual affirmation. I affirm. So in terms of this ether journey of the spiral, wherever you are in the spiral, always looking at your center. The idea is when you guys look at the center this week, you're looking at the inner child. You're looking at the most perfect, most innocent, most pure, flawed, lovable, adorable, special. Just, there's nothing wrong with your inner child. That's true of everyone's inner child. There's nothing wrong with your inner child. If you think something's wrong with your inner child, you haven't gone deep enough to the place where you are perfect, flawless, pure, sparkly child of God. Deal. You know, I don't always say God on this show, on this broadcast, but perfect child of God. Okay, it's that's what the inner child is. You know, when you get far away from that central material, that central gravitational material of your shit that stinks in a certain way, which could swallow you up, but which really provides that central core that you can always refer back to, when you see past the grid of whatever happened to you, whatever was imposed upon you from childhood, or whatever happened to you last week or last year, or whatever that central core of stuff that you're looking at is, when you get through that grid of whatever happened, whatever's on top of it, you come to the being to whom it happened, right? To the perfect one inside of you, the purely innocent, who didn't know, who couldn't help, who was a baby. And that self is always deserving of love, but the idea is that you may be tired from having gone around and around and around in the spiral dealing with the same stuff, so that all you see is what happened to the child, and you don't see the perfect love and affection and flawlessness of the child. And guess what? The child is still there. The child is not gone. The child is not damaged. The child is still perfect. And the child becomes more perfect, more safe, more blessed, the more you affirm, no matter what has happened to you, I got you now. You're perfect. I love you. Wherever I am on this journey, I pause. I see where I came from. The center is always available. It is my gravitational center. And now here's the affirmation for air. I affirm that who I was, who I am, and who I will be is the most lovable, the most adorable, the most special, the most precious. I think there's this tendency for parents to treat their children like they're the most special creatures on earth, and have at it, parents. That's great. I just wonder if maybe... Oh, there goes a hummingbird. I just wonder if maybe parents treating their children like they're the most special, more special than your kid and all of that, maybe has more to do with their own feelings of specialness, the inner child being perfect. Because when you live for a long time with a resistance to the perfect sanctity and integrity of your own inner child, maybe you start trying to create that perfection outside of yourself, but nobody's actually perfect in expression. We are all perfect in actuality and in theory and in truth, right? Do you see what I mean? Like, our actions in the world don't always turn out perfectly, but because if they're aligned with this place of inner sanctity and protection and goodness, whatever happens on the outside, you'll fix it, you'll deal with it, you'll work with it. The whole point here is that who I was, who I am, and who I will be is the most lovable, the most adorable, the most special, the most precious. This is an appeal to the inner child. It's an appeal to your inner child, a reminder, an affirmation that wherever you are in your path, you can pause to observe where you came from, appreciate your journey, and appreciate where I am. That's your ether affirmation. I affirm that who I was, who I am, and who I will be is the most lovable, the most adorable, the most special, the most precious. So if you're in a nasty state, check in with this inner child state and affirm that who you were, who you are, and who you will be is lovable, is adorable, is special, is precious. And if you affirm that and you notice a little bit of dissonance, that you're acting intensely or aggressively or not perfectly, not lovably, not any of those things, maybe try to give your inner child, do that affirmation again, and feel that softening that comes from it, and maybe check yourself and come from that place of your inner child, come from the motivational place of your inner child. Oh, because what do kids do? They see the child in the other. So when you come from that place, maybe you see that place in the other too. I affirm that who you were, who you are, and who you will be is the most lovable, the most adorable, the most special, the most precious. So if you're struggling in relationship or in interaction or at work or in love or in life, remember that they have an inner child too, that everyone has an inner child too who is just as perfect, just as lovable, just as special, just as precious as yours. It was not hating on the parents with the special children. All of the children are actually special. I'm just saying, rather than making your child into the perfect child, why don't you connect with that perfect child in yourself? Then maybe the child will be even more perfect, because now that you're not looking for all the imperfections, their imperfections just add to their perfection. Rant, I guess. Parenting rant. I love you guys. I hope that air reading was useful, and I'll see you next week. Bye.